Hi, I'm Tu, a registered dietitian nutritionist on the Healthy Living team at Giant Food. This video is all about reversing inflammation caused by lifestyle habits. Although we are focusing on inflammation today, our team is here to support you in whatever your health goals may be: managing diabetes, maintaining heart health, eating on a budget, or maybe just ways to try something new. We offer a wide variety of services that you can access on giantfood.com/healthyliving. Okay, let's get started. This session will be about 30 minutes and includes supporting materials and references like a shopping list, meal plan, and recipe ideas. I'll go over those at the end. So let's get started. Inflammation is the body's response to injury. It's the body's way of signaling the immune system to heal and repair damaged tissue or defend itself against foreign invaders such as viruses and bacteria. If we scrape our knees or cut our finger, the body sends inflammatory cells and cytokines that start to heal the injured tissue. As the body heals, the immune system stops sending inflammatory cells. This is called acute inflammation. When our inflammatory response is activated without any injury or virus threat, the body sends out those inflammatory cells, but instead of healing and repairing, they start to attack healthy parts of the body and can damage them. This occurs in autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus, as well as long term lifestyle choices. This is known as chronic inflammation. This is the focus of our presentation today, and I have 6 action items to get you started. Action item number 1 is to eat an anti-inflammatory diet based on MyPlate standards. That includes primarily fruits and vegetables for inflammation-fighting antioxidants, whole grains for inflammation-fighting fiber, and lean proteins to help heal and repair your body. And when looking for these foods, choose those that are lower in saturated fats, added sugars, and salt. Let's break these areas down with a look at the nutrition facts panel. The nutrition facts panel shows you the nutrients of concern, helping you to identify the nutrients that impact your health. Let's start with the nutrients of concern that cause inflammation. Starting at the top is total fat. This includes both beneficial and harmful fats. All nutrition facts panels are required to show the harmful fats, those saturated and trans fats there in the purple under the total fats. Sometimes they will show you the beneficial heart healthy fats, but they are not required. I'll show you that in just a minute. Saturated fats are associated with increased inflammation and are recognized easily as they are usually solid at room temperature. The most common sources of saturated fats are meats and dairy products. Next, we're looking for sodium and the amount of sugar and added sugars, which are listed under the total carbohydrates header. Consuming too much added sugar or sodium can raise blood pressure and increase chronic inflammation. Make it your goal to check the nutrition facts panel and look for these nutrients to provide 5% or lower of the percent daily value. That's highlighted there in gold. In general, foods that are highly processed, like our sugary treats and desserts, fried or fast foods, sodas, and sugary sweetened beverages, will contain the highest levels of inflammation causing nutrients. Now, let's look at foods that have more of the nutrients that fight inflammation. Starting off with antioxidants. Antioxidants are substances that can prevent or slow damage to cells caused by free radicals, which are unstable molecules the body produces as a reaction to environmental and other pressures. Antioxidants found in foods and spices protect our cells from the effects of these free radicals, which include inflammation. That's why our second action item to reduce inflammation is to add more antioxidants. First up, fruits and vegetables, which contain antioxidants like carotenoids and flavonoids, which give fruits and veggies their bright color. Those highest in antioxidants include blueberries, beets, red grapes, oranges, broccoli, dark leafy greens like spinach. So eat the rainbow to optimize these antioxidants. Staying in the produce section, aromatics like garlic and onions are also high in antioxidants. And remember my plate standards and aim for half of your plate to be produce. And although you see fresh produce here, all forms fit: fresh, frozen, and canned. Spices are the real antioxidant rock stars, delivering a higher concentration of antioxidants per 100 gram than any other food. Herbs and spices not only add flavor and taste to our food, but also, according to numerous results from preclinical and clinical studies over the past several decades, it has been shown to possess active components that may have some ability to reduce inflammation. Top spices cited are oregano, rosemary, ginger, turmeric, cayenne pepper, and the highest ORAC rating for all antioxidants, cinnamon. The bottom line here is that spices are a delicious way to enhance the flavor of your foods and fall under the category of can't hurt, but with a lot of potential to help. It's also important to note that several decades of dietary research finds consuming greater amounts of antioxidant rich herbs and spices and foods might help to protect against diseases, but the same is not said about antioxidant supplements. Rigorous trials of antioxidant supplements in large numbers of people have not found that high doses of antioxidant supplements prevent disease. So get those benefits from your diet and not from the bottle. Moving on, there really is no best tea with the most antioxidants. Black and green tea provide different types and amounts of antioxidants, but their effects are largely the same. Like coffee, what you may want to consider instead is how much caffeine you're taking in each day. The impact of caffeine depends on a lot of factors, including age and weight, but a good rule of thumb is to limit caffeine to about 400 milligrams per day and no more than 200 milligrams per drink. On average, a cup of coffee provides around 100 milligrams of caffeine, and a cup of tea about 50 milligrams or less. Finally, red wine. We briefly mentioned red wine's antioxidant called resveratrol, which has been associated with reduced inflammation due to its ability to reduce certain inflammatory mediators. But don't use that as an excuse to drink. No doctor or dietitian would prescribe alcohol to reduce inflammation. Moderate alcohol consumption, so again, that's up to 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 drinks per day for men, is the recommended limit. Made from the seed of the cacao tree, cocoa and dark chocolate is one of the best sources of antioxidants you can find. One study showed that cocoa and dark chocolate had more antioxidant activity, polyphenols, and flavonols than any other fruits tested, which included blueberries and acai berries. But it may also contain higher amounts of sugar and calories, so maybe have a square or two after dinner and try to savor them. Your best choices will be 70% or higher cocoa content. Okay, that wraps up our antioxidants. Let's move on to another inflammation fighting nutrient: fiber. Action item number 3 to reduce inflammation is to fill up on fiber. A fiber rich diet can help reduce chronic inflammation by lowering body weight and feeding beneficial bacteria in the gut that aids in lowering levels of inflammation body wide. In fact, studies have found that people that eat high fiber diets have lower C reactive protein or CRP levels in their blood. CRP is a marker of inflammation and is one of the blood tests doctors use to gauge inflammation. While there are no superfoods or nutrients that are cure-alls, fiber is pretty darn close. Best of all, fiber filled foods are literally everywhere. If it's a plant or it comes from a plant, it has fiber. This includes vegetables, fruits, grains, nuts, and seeds. Even plant based protein like soy has fiber. There are two types of fiber, soluble and insoluble, and each contribute to reducing inflammation. So there's no need to track which you are eating. Instead, focus on the total amount of fiber you eat daily. Let's talk about how to find fiber. You can identify fiber by using the Nutrition Facts panel and by checking the ingredients list. On the Nutrition Facts panel, fiber is found under total carbohydrates. It's listed because it's a nutrient of concern for your health. Fiber is listed by grams, and the percent daily value will show you how much of the daily requirements you would meet when consuming one portion of the food. A good source of fiber is 5 grams per serving or 20% daily value. Using the ingredients list, you can check for fiber filled whole grains. Look for the word whole as the first ingredient to be sure that you are getting a whole grain and not a refined grain. The amount of fiber you need will depend on your age and your sex. Women range from 22 to 28 grams per day, and men about 28 to 34 grams per day. Most Americans get less than 15 grams per day. So aiming for 28 grams per day is a great place to start if you have a low fiber diet. Before I move on, I did want to mention fiber supplements. If you have a hard time meeting your daily requirements, they are very helpful and easy to add to your day. But as always, aim for food first. Let's wrap up our inflammation fighting foods with action item number 4. Add heart healthy fats. There are two main kinds of dietary fats, saturated and unsaturated. We discussed saturated fats at the start of the presentation, which contributes to inflammation. Unsaturated fats help to reduce or prevent inflammation. Unsaturated fats are usually liquid at room temperature and found in foods like fatty fish and seafood, vegetable oils, avocados, and olives. We often hear a lot about the health properties of olive oil, and for good reason. Extra virgin olive oil has a natural chemical called oleocanthal, which shares similar properties with the anti inflammatory drug ibuprofen. There are two types of unsaturated fats, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. And while you may find them on the Nutrition Facts panel, they are not required by the FDA. They are typically listed when the food is a good source. There isn't a recommended daily goal for unsaturated fats, so you won't find a percent daily value. So, to get your inflammation fighting dose each day, consider swaps. Swap solid butters and shortening for oils. Choose leaner ground meats like 90% lean ground beef. Choose nuts and seeds for snacks instead of salty chips. And of course, add seafood 2 times a week for your dose of omega 3, which is a polyunsaturated fat. Customers often ask me about supplements for omega 3s. There's no solid research at this time that shows them beneficial, so I list them as can't hurt but likely won't help. If you don't like seafood, consider adding chia seeds to your plate for plant based omega 3s. We talked a lot about the Nutrition Facts panel and nutrients of concern when it comes to inflammation, but there is an easy shortcut. Guiding Stars. Guiding Stars is our nutrition guidance program that reads the labels and evaluates recipes so you don't have to. Guiding Stars are found on the price tag, on product descriptions when you shop online, and on recipes in our Savory magazine. Products and recipes receive 1, 2, or 3 stars based on credits for things that we want, like fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and debits them for things that we don't want, things like saturated fats, sodium, and added sugars. The more stars, the healthier the item. The program is also available as an app that you can use to scan products if you don't see a tag. You can find Guiding Stars rated products in every category of the grocery store to find the most nutrient dense options. Okay, it's time to move on to lifestyle, which makes up the final piece of the puzzle in reducing inflammation. Focusing on a healthy lifestyle can help prevent and reduce inflammation, and lower inflammation can reduce the incidence of chronic disease. That's why action item number 5 is to focus on lifestyle factors to reduce inflammation. And when healthy eating is combined with healthy habits, this can also help you to maintain a healthy weight, which is important because research shows excess fat in cells stimulates body wide inflammation. What we want to do is move more. Physical activity may help counter some types of inflammation through regulation of the immune system. For example, exercise has anti inflammatory effects on white blood cells and chemical messengers called cytokines. The recommendation for strength activities is at least twice a week, in addition to 150 minutes of physical activity a week. Muscle strengthening activities. So, this includes forms of yoga, heavy gardening like digging and shoveling, body weight resistance like push ups, pull ups, and sit ups, resistance bands, or weight training workouts. Movement will look different for everybody. So, find something that you enjoy and start where you are. Every minute counts, so don't discount a slow start. Just get moving. Next, sleep well, which may be harder for some. During sleep, blood pressure drops and blood vessels relax. When sleep is restricted, blood pressure doesn't decline as it should, which could trigger cells in blood vessel walls that activate inflammation. A lack of sleep might also alter the body's stress response system. Poor sleep is defined as 6 hours or less of sleep per night. It's also associated with high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, and weight gain. Sleep is restorative, so aim for about 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. When we sleep, our breathing and our heart rate slows, our blood pressure drops. There's also healing and repairing of cells, tissues, and blood vessels while we sleep. If you have trouble sleeping, try altering your bedtime routine and focusing on sleep hygiene, like a cool bedroom, avoiding screens before bedtime, establishing a nighttime routine, and including regular physical activity to help sleep better. Next, we need to stress less. Research shows that stress, the body's response to feeling challenged or threatened, invokes the fight or flight response, and your normal immune function is temporarily shut down. Your cortisol shoots up and can increase blood cholesterol, triglycerides, blood sugar, and blood pressure. When you're in that state chronically, the cascading inflammatory response is set up. Remember those pro inflammatory cytokines that can cause chronic inflammation? So let's work on reducing stress. Let's try breath work. Taking 4 to 5 deep breaths for 1 minute has been shown to help lower blood pressure during a time of stress. So stop and breathe. Laughter. We feel good when we laugh. Laughter releases endorphins, which can counteract the negative impacts of stress hormones. Next, change your scenery. Being out in nature can help improve mental health and lower stress levels. The Japanese practice of forest bathing has been shown to lower blood pressure, heart rate, and lower cortisol levels. Forest bathing just involves spending time, about 20 minutes, in a natural environment. It can be the forest, the beach, a park, and just being present, listening to the sounds of nature like the birds, water flowing, or the wind rustling the leaves. And of course, physical activity, which releases endorphins and helps us to relieve tension. Finally, step back from some of those obvious inflammation drivers, smoking and drinking. Smoking can increase inflammation throughout your body and negatively affect your immune system. Alcohol is a toxin that can cause damage at the cellular, tissue, and organ levels. Consuming alcohol can trigger inflammation across the entire body. If you're an occasional drinker, there's no cause for worry, but do limit your daily intake. Before we go, I want to offer my best tip for reducing inflammation. And of course, it's food centered. Action item number 6 to reduce inflammation is to eat your own food. Let me explain. Preparing your own food at home allows you to be in control over nutrients of concern. That's salt, fat, sugar, and it's an opportunity to add more inflammation fighters like antioxidants, fiber, and omega 3s. If you're new to meal planning, it's easy as one, two, three. Map out your meals based on my plate. Half plate produce, a quarter plate whole grain or fiber rich beans or rice, and a quarter plate lean protein. Use ingredients that are lower in added sugars, saturated fat, and sodium. Guiding stars can read the labels for you, or you can look for that percent daily value. Again, 5% is a low source and 20% is a high source. Finally, let us help. Take a meal planning class, go on a store tour. We work hard to make sure your meals include the foods that you love, that meet your taste preferences, your health goals, and of course, your budget. This concludes today's session. Thank you for trusting the Giant Food Healthy Living team in your journey to better health. Today's video is your first step. Your next step is to utilize the resources provided in the notes below, where you'll find more resources on fighting inflammation, including a recipe collection and other information, which will support everything you learned today. There's even an option to email us with questions, schedule an appointment, or follow up on social media for daily tips and inspiration on a wide variety of healthy living topics. I invite you to stay connected. We offer a wide variety of free services, including store tours, consultations, cook-alongs, and more, all of which you can access on giantfood.com/healthyliving or in the notes section of this video. We've taken the philosophy that health is for everyone. It's the little things we do every day that add up. So start today. Start small or big, just start. Thanks again. Reach out with any questions, and most of all, stay well.